Okay, welcome back. Here's another replay. I guess this will be just a series where I go through and re-examine battles which I felt I could improve on. I at least know what I could improve on that. There were a couple that I had today where I think there weren't any tactical issues. It was merely uh the battle was pretty much lost in deployment. Uh, but ones like this, where I feel like I could have done better, or if I have any losses where I made a pretty huge tactical error, then I'll definitely put those up. But this one, um, I had recently unlocked match locks today, so I wanted to play with them. And before I, so in deployment, I was looking around and so okay, well, we have some trees to our left. The deployment area like cut off like kind of here. So I'm like, okay, well, I can't really hide many people on this side. We have cover and we have cover. So my goal was to stash my light cavalry on the side because they can run all the way up as far back as the battle goes, and get me a nice flanking strike. And I put my matchlocks in here because I find it nice to be able to have a strong force quickly run, a few feet out of the woods, then get a nice volley off. And should cavalry or anything try and attack them, they can run into the trees and they'll be safe. And I imagine I'll have plenty of time to prepare for any infantry attacks, so I think it's perfectly fine to put them in the trees. At least to get them hidden so we can get a nice hammer blow on the left, right? Considering how constrained the battlefield is, it'll be really difficult for the enemy to maneuver around and try and counterattack. So I thought, okay, we're gonna play to our rights. So we have our archer units set up, widthwise with loose formation, so that they get we get a lot of them able to fire at once, and they won't get as much casualties from just large explosives because I don't know what the guy's bringing, right? Although I did see my unit cards were Follow the Samurai, so I assumed he had some form of crazy gunpowder weapons. And I had Katana Samurai on either side because I didn't know where he would deploy, so I wanted to have Katana Samurai to tie them up, maybe like around here, so my matchlocks could pivot out and attack. Then I wanted Katana Samurai over here to hold the line to the right. And then I had my Yari Ashigaru just sitting in the middle so they can be reactive to wherever people are going. So you can see, as soon as I see that the enemy's got this all set up, I'm like, okay, give a quick look. No gunpowder, it's a pretty bog standard army. So I've got my archers set to come straight forward and attack because he's not in loose formation, so I want to abuse that for as long as he's in tight formation. And I'm like, okay, well, all of his infantry is on the right, so I'm going to send both of my katanas to the right. But my Yaris, I'm going to send them to the left over here, so that we have a nice sturdy wall to protect against any katana flanking or anything. So my archers get set. They're in loose formation, so I really don't mind them taking some hits from the archers. And I'm like, well, he's pretty much set to just sit and attack me, and he's not going to come into my matchlock trap, so I have to engage. So I send my katanas in, and I send these katanas out to the side, and he doesn't match speed until the last second, and at which point they got hit with the charge from my katana samurai, so they were already the morale was super dropped. And then my katana can come in from the angle for the total hammer blow. I match his Yari charge on the left. Okay, well, Mike, I want to break these, so I'm going to send my general over here. He counters, and I dip because I expect something. Well, it was fire arrows, so not too bad. We pull back, come around, get that unit of katanas running, and I see, okay, we missed it, but you saw I have my light cav coming up the side over here, and with the Ashigaru combat going on here, I'm like, okay, well, they aren't going to go any farther, and I need these guys free to swing around and start to and keep these guys secluded so my matchlocks can come up and finish off one unit at a time. You know, just mass volley fire, one at a time, keep them all clean. So I'm like, okay, well, this is the best chance I'm going to get to kill off these Yari Ashigaru with until late game, because otherwise they'll just be able to sit here, whittle down my guys, and then maybe threaten to counter push on the left, right? If he were to melee his bows and send them into Kaneki. So I'm like, alright, I'm gonna take my free unit, come in here, hit them from the side, and I believe these guys have a bonus charge, so it just makes even more sense to abuse that. At this point, alright, I see they're weakening. These katanas that my general were fighting were already running, so, and my 2 units of katana can pretty easily handle their 1, because that's a 110 to 71. I have total trust the Magus will be able to handle that just on raw numbers, and it doesn't look like he has any people to send in, and his archers are going to be shooting into his own guys, so I'm fine with that, because I'm not expecting them to totally kill them off. I'm just expecting them to hold them down for a while. So I'm going to send my general over here, loop around, and anvil, hit the anvil that my Ashigaru and light cavalry have created to totally send these Yaris out, so then we can have a concerted rush back to totally finish this off. At which point I send my matchlocks out, because I'm like, okay, well, if they're going to get in the battle, this is the time, because this is going to turn into a chase down kind of a thing. So I send my matchlocks out. We're going to line them up. The goal was to line them up over here, as you can see, send them up this way, throw my general back in, maybe loop around and attack these katanas. The Ariashigaru are just going to charge in one of these bows, and then when the matchlocks are set up, I'm going to finish off those bows. I'll send maybe these 2 to attack these guys, and these guys to start shooting at the ones over here. And meanwhile, my archers are just going to continue peppering their backline. But it doesn't happen like that, because I guess you can't really see the chat. You can't. But at this point, the guy messages me in the little chat box, and he's like, "How do you have more units? Cheating?" And I was really confused, because I'm like, they came out of the trees, my dude, and he's got like, this guy had like 4 stars. So he's at least played the game a few times. I cannot believe that he's never seen hidden units pop out of the trees before, right? But yeah, at this point, his katana units are wavering. They're gonna break. I send my general out. Matchlocks are closing in, and then he just quits. He didn't want to fight it out, which is understandable, because at this point, there's no way his archers are going to be able to beat my full matchlocks, my 2 archers, 2 units of katanas, my still full unit of light cavalry, and my general, because all he has is just archers, and they can get mown down pretty easily at this point. Maybe if he was clever with his general and sent them melee to attack my archers, he could at least distracted them, or he could have ran around and attacked my katanas to make something interesting happen, at which point I would have had to have maybe sent in 1 unit of archers, thrown a couple volleys while they were charging to get rid of the general, but he decided to just keep them to the side. I don't know why. He also didn't commit his archers into the melee, which could have helped. Maybe a back charge would have really been poor, because at that point I would have had to pull my katanas off and push them that way, which is eating this out, and he throws them in. I would be forced to commit my archers as well. My general, I'd have to sweep him. He could have pinched off my general right here, so I couldn't sweep in to finish these Yaris. So I'd have to go all the way around to try and finish them off. So he could have brought it back if he had, instead of typing, had done something, but c'est la vie. Yeah, so that is just another one in this series we got here. Yeah, see you guys next time.